Hi class, here I am, Act 3 in Miracle Worker, page 83. The stage is totally dark until we see Annie and Helen silhouetted on the bed in the garden house. Annie's voice is audible, very patient and worn. Worn means tired. It has been saying this for a long time. Water, Helen. This is water. W-A-T-E-R. It has a name. A silence. Then, egg. E-G-G. It has a name. The name stands for the thing. Oh, it's so simple. Simple at birth to explain. The lights have commenced. Commence means started to rise. Now on the garden house, but on the homestead then. Helen, Helen, the chick has come out of its shell. Sometime you come out too. In the bedrooms upstairs, we see Minnie unhurriedly washing the window, dusting, turning the mattress, readying the room for us again. Then in the family room, a diminished group at one end of the table, Kate, Keller, James, finishing up a quiet breakfast. Then outside, at the right, the other Negro servant on his knees, assisted by Martha, working with a trowel around a new trellis and wheelbarrow. The scene is one of everyday calm, and all are oblivious to Annie's voice. There's only one way out for you. It's language. To learn that your fingers can talk and say anything, anything you can name. This is a mug. Mug. M-U-G. Helen, it has a name. It has a name. Kate rises from the table. Keller, gently, you haven't eaten, Katie. She smiles and shakes her head. I haven't the appetite. I'm too restless. I can't sit to it. You should eat, my dear. It will be a long day waiting. James, but it's been a short 2 weeks. I never thought life could be so noiseless. Went much too quickly for me. Kate and Keller gaze at him in silence. James becomes uncomfortable. Annie. C-A-R-D. Card. C-A. Well, the house has been particularly normal, hasn't it? Jimmy. Is it wrong to enjoy a quiet breakfast after 5 years? And you two even seem to enjoy each other. It could be even more noiseless, Jimmy, without your tongue running every minute. Haven't you enough feeling to imagine that Katie has been undergoing ever since? Kate stops him with her hand on his arm. Captain? It's true, the 2 weeks have been normal, quite. All you say, but not short. Interminable means it wouldn't stop. She rises and wanders out. She pauses on the porch steps, gazing towards the garden house. Annie. W-A-T-E-R. But it means this. W-A-T-E-R. This. W-A-T. I only meant that Miss Sullivan is a boon of contention, though, it seems. If and when you're a parent, Jimmy, you will understand what separation means. A mother loses a protector. You'll learn. You don't just keep our children safe, they keep us safe. He rises with his empty coffee cup and saucer. There are, of course, all kinds of separation. Katie has lived with one kind for 5 years, and another is disappointment in a child. He goes with the cup out the rear door. James sits for a long moment of stillness. In the garden house, the light commences to come up. Annie, haggard at the table, is writing a letter, her face again almost in contact with the stationery. Helen, apart on the stool, and for the first time as clean and neat as a button, is quietly crocheting an endless chain of wool, which snakes all around the room. I feel every day more and more inadequate. She pauses and turns the page of a dictionary open before her. Her finger descends the words to a full stop. She elevates her eyebrows, then copies the word. In the main house, Jane pushes up and goes to the front doorway after Kate. Kate turns her glance. James is rather weary. I'm sorry. Open my mouth like that fairy tale. Frogs jump out. No, it has been better for everyone. She starts away up center stage. Annie, who is writing, if only there were someone to help me. I need a teacher as much as Helen. Kate halts. What does he want from me? That's not the problem. Stand up to the world, Jimmy. That comes first. James, but the world is his. Yes, and no one can do it for you. Kate. His voice is humble. At least could you be my friend? I am. Kate turns to wander up back the garden house. Annie's murmur comes at once. The lights begin to die on the main house. Annie, my mind is undisciplined, full of skips and jumps, and she halts, rereads, frowns. Annie puts her nose in the dictionary, flips back to an earlier page, and fingers down the words. Kate presently comes down toward the bay window with a tray full of food. Disintered, disjoined, She backtracks. Indignant, disinterested, disjoined. Where is discipline? She goes a page or two back, searching with her finger, muttering. What's a dictionary? Have to know how to spell it before you can look up how to spell it. Discipline. 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 She corrects the word in her letter. Undisciplined. But her eyes are bothering her. She closes them in exhaustion and gently fingers the eyelids. Kate watches her through the window. What are you doing to your eyes? Annie glances around. She puts her smoked glasses on and gets up to come over, assuming a cheerful energy. It's worse on my vanity. I'm learning to spell. It's like a surprise party. The most unexpected characters turn up. You're not to overwork your eyes, Miss Annie. Well, she takes the tray, sets it on her chair, and carries chair and tray to Helen. Whatever I spell to Helen, I'd better spell right. Kate, almost wistful. How serene she is. She learned this stitch yesterday. Now I can't get her to stop. She disentangles one foot from the wood chain and sets the chair before Helen. Helen is in contact with her knee, feels the plate, promptly sets her crocheting down, and tucks the napkin in at her neck, but Annie withholds the spoon. When Helen finds it missing, she folds her hands in her lap and quietly waits. Annie twinkles at Kate with mock Devotiveness. Such a little lady. She'd sooner starve than eat with her fingers. She gives Helen the spoon, and Helen begins to eat neatly. You've taught her so much these 2 weeks. I would never have. Not enough. She is suddenly gloomy and shakes her head. Obedience isn't enough. Well, she learned 2 nouns this morning, key and water. Brings her up to 18 nouns and 3 verbs. But not that they mean things. It's still a finger game. No meaning. She turns to Kate. Mrs. Keller? But she defers it. It comes back to sit in the bay and lifts her head. Shall we play our finger game? How will she learn it? It will come. She spells the word. Kate does not respond. How? How does a bird learn to fly? She spells again. We're born to use words like wings. It has to come. How? All right. I don't know how. She pushes up her glasses to rub her eyes. I done everything I could think of. Whatever she learned here, keeping herself clean, knitting, stringing beads, meals, setting up exercises each morning. We climbed trees, hunt eggs. Yesterday a chick was born in her hands. All of it I spell. Everything we do, we never stop spelling. I go to bed with writer's cramp from talking too much. I worry about you, Miss Annie. You must rest. Now? She spells back in her sleep. Her fingers make letters when she doesn't know. In her bones, those 5 fingers know that hands ache too. Speak out. And something in her mind is asleep. How do I nudge that awake? That's the one question, with no answer. Except keep at it, like this. She again begins spelling. I need, and Kate's brow gather, following the words. More time? She glances at Annie, who looks her in the eyes silent. Here? Spell it. Kate spells a word. No, shaking her head. Annie spells 2 words. Why not? Back, with an impatient question in her eyes, and Kate moves her head in pain to answer it. Because I can't. Spell it? If she ever learns, you'll have a lot to teach her. Teach each other. Start now. Kate painstakingly spells in air. In the midst of this, the rear door opens, and Keller enters with the setter, Belle, in tow. Miss Sullivan, on my way to the office. I brought Helen a playmate. Outside, please, Captain Keller. My dear child, the 2 weeks are up today. Surely you don't object to. They're not up until 6 o'clock. Oh, now, what a difference can a fraction of 1 day. An agreement is an agreement. Now you've been very good. I'm sure you can keep it up for a few more hours. She escorts Keller by arm over the threshold. He obeys, leaving Belle. Miss Sullivan, you are a tyrant. Likewise, I'm sure. You can stand there and close the door if she comes. I don't think you know how eager we are to have her back in our arms. I do now. No, it's my main worry. It's like expecting a new child in the house. Well, she is so composed, so